Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, I can't hear you.
Me? You can't hear
Oh, you're
me.
muted. Are you muted?
No,
Maybe it's me.
no, it's not
Can
you.
you hear me?
You can't hear me.
You're muted.
I
Are
can,
you muted? Who
I
can
can
hear
hear
me?
you. No,
Hello.
me. No.
Hello. Not sure
Hello.
what's going on with the sound here tonight. We can hear you both. Okay, amazing. I can't hear Danny and Danny can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Amazing. All right.
Yeah, but you can't hear me.
I'm going to go out and come back in.
That's a great idea. Oh, the shenanigans. Oh, we like to have lots of fun here, don't we? Let me just make sure that we are live here and we can see you all here. Yay! Yay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2. Who's here? Let me see who's here. Let me say hello to everybody. If you're my age, you'll remember Romper Room. And every time I do this, I feel like I'm on Romper Room saying, hello, Annette, and hello, Teresa from Norway. How are you? And who else is here? Oh, my goodness. Hello, Wicked Aussie Chick. How's it going? Billy. There's a few of you on. Love it. Kate Brown's here. Melly Girl. Welcome.
I'm back.
She's back. Can we hear each other?
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Excellent. Welcome. All right, let us get started. Rainbow Star Healing, Danny. Hi, it's Dina. Is it? I can't. Is it pronounced Dina or Dinah? First or second? Dina, give me a 1, or Dinah, give me a 2 in the chat so we can see. I forgot which way I said it. Dinah or Dina? Dina or Dinah? Dinah, love it.
Dinah.
That's right. Woo. Perfect. Dinah it is. Lovely. And welcome, Dinah, to the team. Lovely to have you on board. All right. So yesterday, what was your favorite takeaway from yesterday? Let us know what was it that sort of, like a download. What download did you have? Did you have anything that sort of like, oh wow, that's me, or that's where I'm at right now? Maybe the boundaries. It was the boundaries that the boundaries are wide open, and we're allowing things to come in that possibly we maybe shouldn't, or we should be holding that space, holding our energetic frequency. Yes,
learning about positioning. All that
love. Excellent, fabulous. Well, we're going to follow on from that, and today's something that really created a massive move in my life and in Ali's life. And I think this is, we talk about the iconic woman, and for us it is so critical to teach this to every single person that is in our space, because until you can stand into the iconic version of you, then you stay exactly where you are. And people will ask us so many things when they come in to work with us. They'll ask us, what's the strategy? How did you do it? How did you guys go from $0 to $1 million? How have you been able to create in less than 12 months, or in 12 months, sorry? How have you been able to create? The how is the biggest question we get. And we get this question over and over again. It is the $1 million question. And the answer we give, it is not what people think. There is a formula, of course, but this is part of the formula. And it really is standing into your identity, into what we call your self-image, because the self-image is everything. What is self-image, you may ask? A lot of you may not know. Is it the first time you're hearing self-image, or you may have heard of identity before too? They're quite big words these days, especially in the coaching space. There's so many people talking identity and self-image. And if you haven't heard that before, just say first time. If you have heard that before, let us know that you have. Maybe just put a 2 in the chat if you have heard it before, or a 1 in the chat if you haven't heard it before, because it is an integral part of your growth. It was an integral part of Ali's growth, of my growth. And until we moved the needle on our self-image, on our identity, nothing changed in our business. Not the likes, not the money, not the clients. Everything stayed as it, where it was. So if nothing has changed in your business and in your life for the last 12 months, the last 5 months, the last 5 years, if there really hasn't been much of the needle hasn't moved even a little bit, or maybe it's moved maybe 10%. So 10%, if a 10% move is where it's been, if there's been a 10% shift, that's fabulous. But that's an average shift that you would get over 12 months, or you would get over 2 years or 5 years. Like moving it a little, 10% increase is good. This is what we call incremental increases. We are not looking for incremental. We are looking for the quantum leap. So for Ali and myself to go from low income earners to then very, very high income earners, and dream and have the money and the abundance flow in like it does now, there had to be a massive, massive shift. And that is all to do with identity. So I'm going to give you a quote, and then I'll pass it over to Ali so she can sort of elaborate a little more on how it's been able to change within her. And I'll share my story too. But what we're looking for is that understanding the self-image, you can never move past or outgrow or outperform your self-image. So wherever you see yourself, whatever you think of yourself right now is as far as you can go. It is as far as you will move. If you move differently and your self-image has a shift, so your self-image evolves, you'll move into a different frequency. And when you move into a new frequency, you'll also move into a new way of being, a new way of earning. And then once you hit that, it's about holding onto that frequency and staying in that frequency. So we're going to explain that more. So who understands that? Like, does this land for you? If it lands for you, say yes, it lands. If it doesn't
Let
and
us
you're not
know.
sure, stay tuned, because we're going to go deeper into this today. It's such magical. It's a magical lesson. And this is an embodiment lesson, because when you can embody this work, it's inevitable for you to create change. And we say this is 95% is your identity and your self-image of your result. 5% is the strategy. Only 5% is the strategy. And
Who
most people,
believes that?
yeah, who believes that? Most people in life believe it's the opposite way around. So who does believe that? Ali, you can
Yeah. Who believes
oh,
that? Because when I first heard these analogies, I thought, oh my goodness, that just has to be a load of absolute crap. Like, I didn't believe that that could be a possibility. So when I actually understood that, what I thought of myself. So when
mm,
Danny talks about self-image, it's what you think of yourself, not what
mm,
others think of you.
exactly.
I I had lots of people around me who thought very highly of me, as did
Mhm.
Danny. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was, we had lots of support. We had people that were, in our corner and backing us. Yes, they may have had different perspectives and maybe a few barbecue mafias, which we referred to yesterday. But what we actually internalized, and I said this to someone this week, that I was sort of vivacious and bubbly and outgoing and feeling very confident on the outside, but inside I was actually shitting bricks. Who feels that? I was
Yeah.
shitting bricks. I
Yeah.
actually felt like I was something on the outside, not really a fraud, but I felt like everyone said that I had all these amazing abilities, but I didn't believe it. I had no self belief in what I was capable of, but everyone else seemed to see something that I didn't. So until I was able to change, which you spoke about very briefly yesterday, was this internal thermostat, which is the self image, the identity, self concept, whatever analogy you would love to call it. Until I changed the internal framework in me, nothing was going to
Mm,
change. Nothing.
yeah. Ali, it's the thermostat, right? It's the internal thermostat that we're changing, and that's where your self-image is set at a certain temperature. So most of us are set at, say, 22 degrees, and that temperature is where that's your set point. So nothing moves past that temperature. So you can create some more success, and what will happen, you'll move through that temperature and past that temperature, but it's like the windows will open and it gets cold again, and you recalibrate right back down to 22 degrees. So you're constantly creating the results at that temperature setting. If that resonates with you, so who's ever had results like you've been doing so well, or you're sort of you're in the groove, things are happening, you're doing well, you might be on socials, you're getting some traction on socials, and then all of a sudden everything just stops. And then because of that, as a result of everything stopping, you just stop, you just stop everything. You start to doubt yourself, you start to question your ability. And when you do this, it creates a dent in your frequency, it creates a dent in your results. And but self-image is everything, because it determines how visible you allow yourself to be. It actually determines how visible you allow yourself to be. It actually determines how much money you feel safe to earn. These are all the different
Mhm.
things that self-image does for you. And it also determines how powerful you allow your voice to become. And I think this was one of the biggest shifts that Ali and I had, because we really changed the power of our voices. Ali, I know you did. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
there's a few people asking in the chat, how did we change the self-image? So
Yeah.
there's a,
Oh,
there's a series of ways that we change it, and just so
oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Come
guys,
on.
like we're constantly evolving into another version of ourselves. So we're constantly
Yeah.
working on self-image. Self-image is not something that you arrive at. It's a constant
Mm,
evolution of you as a human, that you're constantly working on your self-image. But for me, I remember the only way that I thought I could ever create success was to be super, super busy, hustle really hard. And I basically was a maniac and working all over the show 24 hours a day to create a result. Was I creating results? Yes. But was I getting burnt out? Yes.
mm,
So if I wasn't putting my pedal on the metal as hard as I was the month before, I knew that I wasn't going to continue to maintain the result. Were the results going up in terms of incremental? Yes. But were they going up through the ranks in terms of quantum leaps? No,
mm.
because my energy and my frequency and my internal thermostat didn't change. But if I was to just work a little bit harder, the results may incrementally change, but not much. So I knew that that was not the answer, because I tried every single strategy in the book. What about you, Danny? You were much the same.
Yeah,
You'd done all
absolutely.
the things.
Yeah, 100%. So, you know what it is? I think it's so important, because when you're at this like crossroads, and I just want to know, if you're watching this, I would assume if you're on this call and you've signed in to come and be with us for the 3 days, I would assume that you're at some crossroads in your business, or some crossroads, and you're looking for an answer, right? This is where I've been here. Ali's been here. We've all been here. And this is like being completely honest. We have all been here. The beauty is that we have been able to move through this, and people are asking how we move through it. I'm going to share with you what it actually looks like, and how, how it looks and how it works, right? So if your self-image is, you're still trying to figure something out, like you're still trying to work something out, does that vibrate on a high frequency, or does that vibrate, and I'm going to use this word, do you feel like you're confident, and you're sort of getting yourself out there, and is it vibrating on this higher frequency? We're going to show you the frequency chart in a minute for those of you that don't understand it. Or does that feel like in this fear and need and like wanting to create, right? So this is where I was
Mhm.
I was in such fear of wanting to make the money. I was in lack mindset, even though I was a very, very positive person. So like Ali was saying earlier, she was feeling positive in her business, positive, like people would look at her and say, oh my God, she's
Yeah.
amazing. I got that all the time. People say, oh my God, how do you do it? You got 5 kids, you got 4 dogs. I only have 1 now, but I used to have 4 dogs. You're like, you're just everywhere. You always look the part. You're dressed. You're like walking around in your high heels, playing netball in your high heels. You've just got everything together. right? And this is what I would get day in, day out from people. They would be constantly in awe of me. And I would be like, guys, if you had a look at my house, and people didn't believe me. Like, they just didn't think that, I had socks in every freaking cupboard and I couldn't find pairs and things like that. People just did not believe me because I look so put together. And it was just almost unbelievable, right? So externally, even though I looked the part and everyone visibly could see that, internally, I was struggling, right? I was struggling internally because I wanted to make more money, and not money because I needed more money, because I wanted to do something for me. After being a mum for years and 5 years, have to have 5 children, I'm a mum for 30 years. My God, my oldest is 30, guys, and my youngest is 3. Right, 5 years. Shit. After being a mum for so long, and putting all my energy into my kids and being like the best mum that you could possibly, be, as much as I could be, it was time for me to want more. So externally, even though I looked the part and had it all together, internally, I was seeking something so much more. And not that I didn't love the kids and, this whole guilt thing. It was just, I wanted to show people what I could do. I wanted to show people how many others I could help. And I knew I had something within me that was bigger than me, that was bigger than my physical body. It was that power, that iconic power that I had inside me. And that was what was trying to get out. This is a self-image. So if you've got this yearning feeling to want more, to be someone like more, and not for ego, just to be able to, stand into this power of knowing that you can create and help thousands of people, which is, I had this vision in my head all the time in my heart, but I couldn't express it. And because I couldn't express that, I was trapped. And it was almost like my wings were clipped. Does anyone else feel that? Or has anyone else been through this? Just feel like your wings are clipped, but you're made for more. You're made for more. So my self-image was completely incongruent. And when you are feeling, or you might look like it from the outside, but from the inside, nothing's happening, right? It's just you're patching things up constantly. Everywhere you go, you're trying to patch things up. You're trying to smooth it over to make things look great, but internally it's not. Nothing moves, nothing happens, and you just keep doing these laps, and the laps keep going and going and going and going. And you try something and it's not working. And because that's not working, guess what? You go and try something else, or you create a new business or another, you continue to find new things, because that just instantly gives you gratification, instantly makes you feel good on the inside for this long. And then you're back to the laps, asking yourself how, asking yourself, is this possible? Why can't it happen for me? Why is it happening for Arthur and Martha and Mary and Harry? I don't know. Why is it happening for everyone else but not me? This is self-image. This is liked versus being paid. Because if you feel that you are on social showing up as this person that's got it all put together, energetically inside, you're not matching that picture, I promise you, the likes will be little. There'll be not much there, because this is what it's about. When you build this confidence from within, then you start to see the power, the authenticity, and everything starts to align, and the authentic you shines through. And you can see all the bumps and the lumps and the, blueberries in your teeth, like Ellie says. And, I'll give you a story. I was doing a live. I had a tag on my top right here, right? There was a tag during the whole live. I have to find that somewhere, right? It's like, who gives a fuck? That's just authentic us. We don't care anymore, because who we are is who we are, and what we do is what we do. We don't need perfection. But
No.
what we do have is this power inside to show people exactly how to build that authenticity, that confidence, the beauty from inside and out, and it shines and you feel the energy. It's unstoppable. And that's how we create it. So how do you do that, you ask? Well, this is, Ali, you want to share how we do it? On a bit of a
So
rant there. I'm
yeah,
so
no.
passionate
It
about
was an amazing rant, and I'm going to sort of weave a bit of my story into it, so
Yeah,
you can see
please.
sort of how I was able to do it. in the beginning. So I came to Danny originally as a student, and I was in network marketing. And yes, I was successful, but I was sort of at this income level of about $4,000 a month for a very long time.
Yeah.
I was also working in corporate, and I was sort of very hyper fixated on things. So I didn't try lots of things. Once I set my mind to something, I stayed and I continued to do that. And the way that I thought I could continue to build and be successful was to work 24 hours a day. So I just thought it was going to take more time. I just needed to work harder, more effort, and all those things to create. And I remember seeing Danny's post on social media. Another friend shared her post, and it said that she was earning like $80,000 months. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm over here working my butt off. People are thinking that I'm like this queen of this network marketing company, earning incentive trips, recognition on all these boards. And I had no money in the bank account ever. It was completely drained every single week, living week to week. And I couldn't figure out like how many more hours I'd have to work to create some sort of result. It was just madness. And when I saw that Danny was earning $80,000 a month minimum, I was just like, this must be some sort of like joke. I just couldn't believe it. So I knew of Danny. I didn't know her personally, but I ended up on a call with her that day. And what she shared with me was exactly what she's sharing with you guys, that it wasn't me working harder. And it was like a breath of fresh air. Yes, you have to put in the aligned action and create the work. You have to do the work to create a result, but not in that masculine hustle grinding way. And it involved me changing my internal thermostat and changing what I thought about myself and actually putting that out to the world. So I was like this best kept secret that didn't actually put herself out there. Whilst people think that I did, I didn't. So I was sort of a bit undercover. So when Danny then explained to me that, you know, I would be able to be earning $25,000 a month very quickly, I really didn't believe that was possible. So we met at a cafe, and we'd moved interstate, we'd sold our second car, and I had to borrow a car. Some of you have heard this before. I borrowed my mum's car. I had my stepdad's disabled parking ticket in the dashboard, and I was driving to this beautiful accommodation facility in Brisbane that Danny was at, and I was running late because I couldn't find a car park. And I ended up finding the car park in the disabled spot, and that's where I parked illegally with the ticket. And I remember seeing Danny for the first time and thinking, oh my gosh, like this woman is like some sort of superstar. I immediately put her on this pedestal,
So silly.
and I felt like she was welcoming me, but I felt like a fish out of water at that venue. I felt like a phony driving someone else's car. I was in an illegal car park. And I basically was like this woman who had no money in the bank account that just felt like a complete and utter failure, but was working like a maniac with 3 kids and a husband and 2 dogs. And I just didn't know how to figure out how I would ever get through that. And Danny was mentoring me at that time in her program, and I'd had some very quick results in network marketing. So I'd earned an incentive trip, and I was not really understanding what was happening, but it was happening in terms of the work that I was doing. She'd given me, the work we were doing in the group program, but I still didn't understand the mechanics of how that could possibly be. I just thought it was a bit of a fluke. Like I might have just put my foot on the pedal a bit harder that month, and it was a fluke. And I remember her telling me, okay, with what you're doing on the side. So I started selling these programs to show people how to network, how to do their social media, how to talk to people, all of which I thought was very easy, to which later Danny explained to me was very specialized knowledge that didn't come easily to everyone. And I was selling these programs for $99 and thinking that was a lot of money, and giving people like a payment plan. And I was teaching them how to do this over 4 weeks. So it was $99 for 4 weeks. And I, taught my little heart out, and I was selling lots of programs. But I knew that to do what I wanted to do and create the sort of income that I wanted to create, I'd have to be selling a lot of $99 programs. So when Danny presented to me a bit of a situation to say, how would you feel earning $25,000 a month? I didn't know anyone in my whole entire life that had earned $25,000 a month. Like, that was like completely separated from my world. That was not something that I was comfortable with, that felt familiar, that I could even comprehend, that I could even fathom her saying. It felt so foreign. And I remember her saying it, and I remember listening to her, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So what she described to me, so I made her pay for the coffee. I didn't make her. She offered to pay. So I said, okay. So that was the first thing, actually allowing her to buy me a coffee. And I think she bought me lunch as well. So that was the first one. I was so embarrassed that she was doing that, because I felt so inadequate that I didn't pay for her. So that was the first one. But the second one was when she actually laid it out and said to me, you are worthy. She looked me in the eye and she said, you are worthy, deserving and capable to be earning $25,000 a month. Are you willing to accept a new idea? Like, I can remember this conversation like if I can, in the back of my hand, and I've got the notes on my wall. They're in a frame. And I'll never, ever, ever forget the table we sat at, or the conversation, or the shoes that she was wearing. Like, I remember it like you had those zipper boots. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday. And I remember walking into that meeting. They're like white boots with a zipper, like an ankle boot type of sneaker boot. And she said to me, like, at the moment you're making decisions as like a $4,000 a month income earner. So I had to sit there for a minute and think to myself, every time I spoke, I was in lack. Every time I thought of something, I was in lack. Every time I did something, I was in lack. And every time I felt something, I was in lack. And I just had this identity as this broke mother of three who had this superstar husband and these two crazy dogs, but we could never afford anything because we just made what we had work. We were never destitute, but we never had any extra. And when she described this to me and explained that I needed to step into that version, I literally had to sit at that table in Brisbane in the heat and put this jacket on like I'd never put it on before, and actually walk away from that meeting as the $25,000 a month income earner. That moment, literally walking away from that table, changed my entire life. My entire life. I walked back to that car with the disabled ticket, a completely changed person. And you're probably thinking, how does that happen? But from what Danny said, from what I felt inside, I knew that her activating this in me gave me the belief and the faith that I could actually do it. Who's had that before? Having someone actually breathing the life into you that you can actually create the result. That was what Danny did for me. Giving me that faith. I didn't know how it was going to show up. I didn't know how I was going to find these clients, but I did exactly what she said in terms of the strategy. I held an online event like this over, a period of 1 day. I only did 1 day. I had the event within four days of having that meeting, but I actually had to create a completely different identity walking away from that meeting. The internal thermostat completely had to change. Yep. I closed that back door. Like, when I put that chair in as that $99 person, when I was leaving that meeting, I was not the same person. Who believes that they could do that? Because not many people probably have the courage to do it, the discipline to do it, the ability to do it, because they don't believe that they can do it or it's possible for them.
Yeah, it's an incredible
I feel
story.
quite emotional. I feel emotional saying it because it's just, Danny, it's so powerful.
Yeah,
and
it is powerful. But Ellie, you were someone. Yeah, sorry, finish. I
was just going to say that meeting saw me then do $27,000 in 3.5 weeks, and that continued. That wasn't my reality. $27,000 in 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
And what were you earning?
And it continued. I was earning $4,000. I've lost my paper. I had it in a budget with all these color codes. If I can find it, I'll put it in the Telegram.
Yeah.
This was life-changing. This was a life-changing moment. Yeah. Could I have done it without a mentor? Absolutely not. There was no way anything was ever going to change for me. Ever, ever, ever. But I had to back myself and pay this woman that I'd never met on the internet a deposit and go all in on myself and make that decision that this was it. I wasn't going to spend another single minute of my life in that same position. And Danny looked me in the eye, and she'd been able to create the same result. And I knew that if she did it, I could do it.
And anyone can
That was
do
the
it.
activation.
And this is exactly
Anyone
what
can
we
do it.
That's anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. And it's not just that, like, yes, you made a decision in that moment, Ali. Like, I think that was the biggest, like, anyone can watch this video, watch us right now, and decide that it's enough, can decide in this moment that they no longer are willing to stay where they are. But it takes dedication and it takes accepting a new idea. So if you are someone that sees themselves, if you still see yourself right now as a beginner, as someone trying, like you're really trying to get, we hear this all the time, but I'm trying so hard. If you see yourself and identify yourself as someone trying, if you identify yourself as someone who's hoping they create a new result, you will attract, what do you think you'll attract with that? What do you think it will be? You know the answer. I'm going to give it to you. You will attract small opportunities. You will attract hesitant clients, people that won't say yes or be wishy-washy. It'll be low-value conversations. It will not attract what you are looking for to make the change. Because here we want one thing, but here we're operating at a level as though we don't want to go anywhere near this. We are repelling what we really, really want every single day. And this is what the self-image does. But when we bridge this gap, and how do we do this? How do we bridge the gap? The first thing is you decide you no longer want to be where you are, and you are open and willing to accept a new idea, a new way of learning. It is no longer strategy. Throw the strategy out the door, because before you can even look at your strategy, you've got to turn within. And that's exactly what I did. It's exactly what Ali did. And it is exactly what every single person that works with us now does when they decide and they start to create a different identity. The minute they create the new identity, their businesses explode. And tomorrow night, we're going to have a couple people on that will share their story too, so you can see that we're not telling porkies here, right? This is what works. This is how it's done. It is identity first. When you are shifting, when you shift your identity, you get paid. It is as simple as that. Ali got paid when she shifted her identity. I got paid when I shifted mine. And mine was through Bob Proctor. Those of you that know Bob Proctor, I was lucky enough to be in his space, to be in his world, to be one of his consultants at the time and be in his energy, and for him to say, you know, you're capable of creating this and earning this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm hearing it from the best in the world. How do I not believe him? I had to have the faith in him and myself. And I was so willing to make a change. I wanted to make a change so much that I was willing to let go of everything, and also not just let go of everything, but some serious things on the line to create a different life for myself and for my children and for my family. And that also meant, some of you have heard this story, it also meant going behind my husband's back. And now he thanks me, but back then, boy, I mean, he didn't even know. I went and paid for a program that cost nearly the cost of a luxury car to be able to create the success. And I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. I had no idea what, and this was all, it was all Bob Proctor's program. I had no idea how I was going to do that. But I knew if I didn't, I would be stuck in those foothills doing laps for the rest of my life. So I had to make a decision that twisted me inside twisted me in the core, that made me feel so uncomfortable that I was physically vomiting over and over and over at night, because I had just done something that I felt, not only did I feel, you know, that I may lose my marriage because of it, but I was so I was just so at what's the word for it? I was just at
You were
can't think of it.
surrendering.
Yeah, I was surrendering to me. I was surrendering to my power, knowing
Yeah.
that this was the decision that was going to change my life. And in that moment, I accepted that idea and I said, this is it. Whatever happens from here, it's my decision. My wings are unclipped. It's time to fly. And I decided to fly in that moment, just as Ali decided to fly. And every single person in our space that decides to fly, I'm talking really decides to fly, they fly and they have the life that they dream of, that they've never ever had. And that is what happens when you shift your self identity. It is making a decision first that you just will not accept where you are right now anymore. It's done. And if that's you, if you're watching this and you feel like this is you, we invite you to come in and have a conversation with us so we can see where you are at. We can see where you want to go and we can find your gap. Just like I found Ali's gap, just like we now do this together. Ali's an expert at this now. She helps so many women shift their identity now. We do this together because we now have shifted that identity and created, huge success through this work alone. And of course, the strategy is still there. You still need the strategy, but the focus is on the identity, not the strategy. And that is why and how you create being paid, not liked. It's all
It's
about that.
massive.
And you change. Do you change as a person? Absolutely, you change, right? You change. You will outgrow people. You will no longer have the conversations you were having 6 months ago, 12 months ago. The conversations will look different. Does it mean that you're a pompous ass or you think you're better than people? Absolutely not. You are evolving into the version of yourself that will create the success. It doesn't mean you're mean. It doesn't mean that you're not a nice person. It just means you have evolved and things start to look different. Things start to feel different. People, you see through people. You see through those fake friends. You see through those people that really, truly are happy for you. And that can hurt. And when you get to this point, this is where Ali and I are here to hold your hand. And we call it, maybe it's a bit of a kumbaya, right? We do this every morning with a group of incredible women and some men that lift you every day to take you to where you want to go. But the decision is this: if you really don't want it, if you're just playing, this is not for you. It's not for you if you're playing. It's not for you if you're doubling. It's not for you if you think, oh, I'd really like that, but you've got to be ready. And we only work with women that are ready. Only work with women that are ready to jump. Because if you're not ready to jump, you will not be ready the entire time. You'll be sitting there floundering the whole time, scared, worried, blah, blah, blah. That's not who we work with. We work with women that are ready to go, to jump, that want something different. Because they light us up because we know we're ready to go with them, lock arms with them too. So just categorize where you are with that, because it's huge. And I don't mean to say this in a way that, we're disadvantages, but you've got to be ready. You can't just have your toe dipped in, because if your toe's dipped in, you're going to have your toe dipped in the whole time. We want you to take a 100-meter run up, 100-meter 100-meter run up and do a bomb in that pool.
Exactly. That's ready. And ready, defining ready, there's a few in the chat saying defining ready is to accept a new idea, be coachable, willing to invest in yourself, willing to do things in unconventional ways that you may have never done before, willing to do things that are unlogical, willing to do whatever it takes to actually create the result. And that doesn't mean working harder. That means doing things in a certain way to create a different result. Because if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, well, that's a form of, I think it's called insanity, because it's never going to create a different result if you're doing the same thing over and over again and nothing has changed. So we get you to do things in a different energetic state, Change your frequency, change your absolute life. And by doing that is deciding. It's actually I went down to the beach and physically drew that line in the sand and decided I was ready. I was willing to do whatever Danny said within reason. Like there was no, jumping off the bridge or anything like that.
No, we don't do bungee jumping or anything like that. We just did that at the retreat as well, Ellie. There were 50 women on the beach.
That's right.
But we were at the beach down at Sanctuary Cove, and we all drew a line in the sand. We were ready to jump, and it was such an incredible beauty. If you've seen our photos with the flamingos and on the blow-up flamingos at our retreat that we just had, it was just wonderful. Like I said, 50 women on this beach at Sanctuary Cove. We're just drawing lines in the sand and taking photos with it was just amazing. So I just want to there's Jade and Vicky, I just want to answer these questions. Well, Ellie, you can answer as well. Hearing you, but it's so hard to visualize, define ready, right? So I think you defined ready. You already answered that question. Ready is just knowing that you just want something more.
Knowing.
And not.
So Vicky,
Vicky's
saying she's got $36 in the bank account. Sorry, Danny. So Vicky, my commission for my network marketing had dropped, and the commission was $2,300.
Yeah.
And Danny asked me to pay her a deposit, which was just about that entire money. And it was 2,000. And I said to my beautiful Danny on the phone, I said, I'm going to have to ask my husband. I was one of those people. And I went and asked my husband. It wasn't I needed his approval to do it. It was me using this money that we didn't even have, that was already spent before it hit our bank account. And he said, just pay her the money. Just pay her the money. We didn't know how. So we found a way. We decided to put those things on payment plans. Everything started working out once I made the decision. I know that's a really uncomfortable thing to hear. Sorry, Danny, you go.
No. Go.
It's a very uncomfortable thing to hear. And when you're thinking, oh my gosh, but there is ways. I remember him selling things out of our shed. There is money literally sitting in front of your eyes if you're willing to see it. Yeah. He was selling crockery. He was selling tents. He was selling all sorts of things for me to do what I needed to do to create, because he could also see something in me that I couldn't see. And then I was actually offered an opportunity to start running networking events, and that opportunity presented itself once I decided, and that money then went to pay off the program. So did we have money in the budget? Absolutely not. But I decided anyway to make a decision, because I knew I wasn't going to spend another single minute doing that over and over and over again to create the same result for the next 40 years of my life. It was just never going to happen. So I was willing to back myself. Most people are willing to pay something to learn something new, but this is paying money to back yourself, and you're actually in control. You're in the driver's seat. You actually can create. You're God's highest creation. You have the ability.
That's what we teach you, right, Al? That's what it is. It's teaching that how to go from feeling that you can't to you can. So Vicky's also saying, I have $36 in my bank account, so the dollars scare the freaking bejesus out of me.
Yeah, well, we get it. Exactly.
It's not something different to what
it's called visible supply, Vic. So
yeah,
it's called visible supply, and you're making decisions. So when I had $36 in my bank account, I was making decisions as that $99 income earner. When Danny said to me, was I willing, ready, and able to be earning $25,000 a month? I had to flick that switch and put that jacket on that Roviel's asking for. What decisions am I going to make as a $25,000 a month income earner? The visible supply of the $36 had to be eliminated immediately. I had to find the money somehow, because as soon as I made the decision, the money started showing up. I know it sounds like hocus pocus, but energetically, the energy changes, and that's what creates the money to appear, because you're flicking the switch, you're changing that thermostat. The people, the places, the plots start appearing when you start backing yourself.
Tomorrow we'll show you the chart, and we'll show you exactly how you can change that instantly, because when you're in this frequency of not enough, like Ali was just saying, that visible supply, if that's all you see, that's all you see. So you're in this frequency, right? And I know we're talking frequency, and that may feel really uncomfortable for a lot of people because they don't understand it. But this is everything. That's the energetics, right? That's the vibe. So if you're in the vibe of I don't have enough, well, then what you're actually giving out and what you're projecting is that you're not going to have enough, and you'll never have enough, because that's all you're thinking about. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions continue to produce the same results over and over again. So we want to flick that switch. And this is what we're going to do. There'll be some homework tonight. So you'll have some of the homework. You'll have some statements that we want you to write, and just that version of you. And there's one other sort of call to action that we'd love you to do, which will be in the homework, because Ali talked about the jacket, right? We talked about we put a new jacket on, and that new jacket is the jacket that represents you in that version of that person who's already created that success. I have sunglasses, which I think I may have lost my Burberry's, which I'm going to be freaking out over.
No.
I'm going to have to find another pair. I think I may have left. Anyway, so what another exercise is going to be for you guys to do is go into your wardrobe and find a jacket. And you Queenslanders, I know you don't have many jackets up there, but find a jacket, whatever it is, and put it on. And we want you to take a photo of you in that jacket and pop it into the Telegram chat, because this is the version of you. And every time you put that jacket on, you are standing into the version of you who's already created that success, who's already the one walking and has the money and has the business and the clients and whatever it is. If you're, at the top of your network marketing company, or you're the CEO of your own company, or whatever it is, standing into your power, we want you to find the power jacket. So Roviel, you better have a really good jacket there.
Yeah, find the jacket and tag us on social media with that selfie that you take.
Yes.
Tag
Remember, we have a
collective on socials.
Yeah, we have a really big giveaway tomorrow night. So we want you to make sure you do all this work. Are we doing it tomorrow night? We'll probably do it the following day, because we want to do the homework. But we want you to follow, make sure you tag us, because the more you tag us into social media, the more you'll have entries into the draw for this incredible gift that we're giving away, which is bucks. SE, I'll call them the other one because it came out wrong the other day. Anyway, yesterday. But this is what it is, guys. There is so much more. So we'll write the homework. Make sure you do your homework. It doesn't have to be long, but we want you to get into the energetic frequency of that. So when you do that, you're going to find having shifts immediately. You'll see immediately how that feels and what happens to you instantly internally. What happens when you start to read that, when you start to feel into that, when you start to become that. And it's exactly what Ali did when she walked away from that coffee with me up on the Gold Coast at the Cali. Is it the Cali or the Calol? I get it wrong.
Calol in Brisbane.
Calol, yeah. Where we were sitting, and she walked away a completely new person. So these are some of the techniques, and we want you to start with this, and we're going to give you everything that we can to help you create that shift immediately. So amazing.
So amazing. Thanks for being on, guys.
Yeah. And if you do have any other questions, please pop them into the Telegram chat, because we can definitely answer some questions. So in the Telegram chat, we have the channel, and then there's a chat. So you can chat, or you can actually respond in the
chat. You can respond. And if you want to find out what your gap is, in the Telegram group or in the feed here, write gap. And our team will be in touch, and we'll get you on a call, and we'll start working out what your gap is and how you can close that gap.
Is it William Knapton says, is there a Telegram chat for this group? I can only see the chat where Danny and Ali post. There is.
Anna Mel will contact you. Yeah, I think it's Anna.
Oh, it just says William. I thought it was Anna, but I wasn't too sure. Yeah. If you can't find it, just you all have emails. So you've all been emailed. So just it is Anna. I thought it was Anna. I wasn't sure. I thought I didn't want to say it was Anna if I didn't know. Just email Mel. So there's an email there that you can. Should we pop the email?
So our team will drop the email. So it's info@sheevolvecollective.com.au. Yeah. And if you've got any questions, if you're not in the Telegram, get in the Telegram, and our teams just dropped the email there for you as well. So
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
amazing, guys. So
Amazing.
the email with the recap will have the replay, and it will have all the steps for tonight, just so you can get clear on what you need to do, where you need to tag us, and what your homework is, and who's joining us for tomorrow, day 3. Let us know.
Let us know.
Time flies, doesn't it, Danny? It goes so quickly. We sort
Goodness
of
me. Really does. Really
very
does.
quickly.
But yeah, thank you guys for going on, and we know, and let us know one takeaway from today. Like, what's one thing that stood out for you guys? Kylie's there, amazing. Melly, thank you, Mel.
Amazing. Let us know what was your takeaway, guys, for tonight. There's always something. If I'm not on the road, I will be here.
Too. Yes, we'll be there for day 3. Amazing, Annette. Robin, so good. Excellent. Can't wait. I don't think there is a Yes, there is. Debbie's saying there's no Telegram. There is a Telegram group, Deb.
There is, Deb. Absolutely.
Email Mel. She'll give you the link, because it should be in your emails.
Drawing a line in the sand, making a decision, working on identity. So good, guys.
So good.
And remember, if you want to work through your own gap, writing gap in the chat or in the Telegram.
Yeah, and we can jump on a quick call. Absolutely, we'd love to do that.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.